Sylvia Vanguard has spent most of her life chasing success. For 15 years, she worked tirelessly at J. Harper Enterprises, sacrificing relationships and family life to build the career she always dreamed of. And finally, that hard work pays off. Sylvia is promoted to Vice President of Sales at one of the largest Fortune 500 companies in America. At first, it looks like she has everything: money, a beautiful home, a successful career, and a man who has been beside her for 20 years. His name is Sterling. Sterling has known Sylvia since college. For years they lived together as a couple, even though they never actually got married. And there is one more thing connecting them. 15 years earlier, while they focused on building their careers, Sylvia and Sterling had embryos frozen. The plan was simple. Once they became successful enough, they would get married, have children, and finally build the family they had always talked about. But 15 years pass, and now that Sylvia has reached the top, she realizes something is missing. She doesn't want another promotion or more money. She wants a family. She wants a husband. And most importantly, she wants the child they created all those years ago. So Sylvia tells Sterling that she is ready. But Sterling isn't. He likes their relationship the way it is. He doesn't want marriage. He doesn't want children. After 20 years together, Sylvia is devastated. She cannot understand how a man can spend 2 decades with her and still say he isn't ready. For Sylvia, the decision becomes painfully simple. If Sterling doesn't want to be a husband, she can't force him. But she can still become a mother. So she ends their relationship and tells him she will use their frozen embryo and raise the child herself. And that is exactly what she does. She goes to Dr. Buford and proceeds with the embryo transfer. The doctor warns her that becoming a parent alone is an enormous responsibility. Sylvia says she is certain. The procedure goes ahead, and eventually, she becomes a mother. But what she doesn't realize is that she has set in motion something far more complicated than she imagined. Because her daughter is not like other children. Her name is Ryan. From the very beginning, Ryan seems different, extremely intelligent, unusually mature, and nothing like a normal teenager. She isn't interested in friends. She doesn't enjoy other kids. She doesn't like being touched. She rarely shows affection. And most disturbing of all, she seems almost completely disconnected from the world around her. Sylvia tries to convince herself Ryan is simply independent or mature for her age. But Ryan's behavior keeps getting stranger. At school, she has little patience for other students and can become intimidating when challenged. At home, she stays out late, disappears without explanation, and reacts with unusual hostility whenever Sylvia tries to discipline her. One night, Sylvia confronts her after she comes home late. Ryan refuses to explain and becomes aggressive when Sylvia tries to touch her. For a moment, Sylvia realizes she may no longer understand her own daughter. The next morning, Ryan apologizes, saying she hates being treated like a child. Sylvia reminds her she is still a teenager, and the rules are meant to protect her. Then Ryan admits something that frightens Sylvia. She doesn't understand why she is the way she is. She doesn't understand why she can't connect with people, or why everything around her feels so meaningless. Sylvia wants to help, but Ryan doesn't know how to explain what is happening inside her. Meanwhile, Sterling unexpectedly returns to Sylvia's life. 16 years after their breakup, he calls her. At first, Sylvia is furious. She cannot understand why the man who abandoned their relationship suddenly wants to see her. But Sterling asks her to lunch, and eventually she agrees. During their meeting, Sterling admits he regrets the way he handled everything. After years of failed relationships, he realizes he made a terrible mistake. He should never have let Sylvia go. He should have built a family with her. He should never have allowed their embryo to remain frozen for 15 years while life passed them by. Then he asks the question Sylvia has been avoiding. How is their daughter? Sylvia tells him Ryan is brilliant, beautiful, and the most important thing in her life. Sterling asks whether Ryan knows about him. Sylvia explains she told Ryan the truth when she was 12. Ryan knows Sterling is her biological father, but she has never really talked about him. When Sterling asks if Ryan hates him, Sylvia doesn't know, and that uncertainty becomes the beginning of another problem. Sterling wants to meet his daughter. Sylvia is hesitant because she knows Ryan won't react normally. Still, eventually she considers allowing it. At the same time, Ryan's behavior becomes increasingly dangerous. She begins experimenting with relationships outside the home and meets an older man named Johnny Simmons. Johnny initially thinks Ryan is simply a mysterious young woman, But as they spend time together, he realizes something isn't right. Ryan refuses to clearly reveal her age, behaving as though age is irrelevant. When Johnny finally understands she is underage, he ends the encounter immediately and tells her to leave. Ryan doesn't take the rejection well. Before leaving, she makes it clear that he will regret rejecting her. And this isn't an empty threat. Not long afterward, Johnny ends up badly injured, with broken ribs and a concussion. The police begin investigating, and somehow Ryan becomes connected to the incident. Ryan insists she had nothing to do with it, but Detective Collins isn't convinced. Johnny even believes Sylvia may have sent people to attack him after he rejected Ryan. Sylvia is horrified. She doesn't want to believe her daughter is capable of that. But deep down, she knows Ryan has been changing. Then Sylvia's mother begins warning her that something is seriously wrong. She has always opposed the decision to have Ryan through the frozen embryo, believing Sylvia tried to take control of something that should never have been separated from the natural process of life. To her, the 15-year gap between fertilization and birth may have affected Ryan in ways nobody could have anticipated. And eventually she reveals her theory. Ryan's body may only be 15 years old, but her soul is much older. According to her belief, the soul came into existence when the embryo was created. Then the embryo was frozen for 15 years. So while Ryan's physical body remained undeveloped, her soul continued to age. That, she believes, explains everything. Why Ryan is so mature, why she doesn't connect with children her own age, why she seems uncomfortable in her own body, and why she feels emotionally disconnected from everyone around her. Sylvia struggles to accept it. But the more she thinks about Ryan's behavior, the more frighteningly possible it begins to feel. Ryan's problems keep getting worse. More confrontations, stolen money, sneaking out. Ordinary rules simply don't seem to apply to her. Then Detective Collins calls Sylvia in to question Ryan about Johnny Simmons. At the station, Ryan insists she was at school when the attack occurred. But Johnny is in the hospital, and he believes Ryan hired people to attack him after he rejected her. The police eventually let them leave, but the moment they get home, Sylvia confronts her daughter. And what Ryan says changes everything. She tells Sylvia she can't become the daughter her mother wants. She can't love Sylvia the way Sylvia expects. She can't feel the excitement, happiness, or affection other people seem to experience. Because inside, she feels nothing. Absolutely nothing. That emptiness is why she keeps doing dangerous things. She is desperate to feel something. Anything. Even fear. Even anger. Even violence. For Sylvia, this is devastating. Her daughter isn't simply rebellious. Ryan is suffering from a profound emotional emptiness she doesn't know how to control. And she blames Sylvia for creating her without thinking about what her life would become. Sterling tries to help. He regrets abandoning them and wants to take responsibility for Ryan. But Ryan doesn't want him. She sees him as another person who made choices about her life without considering what she would have to live with. When they finally meet, it goes badly. Ryan is furious. She never wanted to meet the father who chose not to be there. Sterling apologizes, but Ryan doesn't forgive him. She walks away. Sylvia collapses emotionally, telling her mother she has lost her daughter. But Ryan's behavior only grows more dangerous. She becomes obsessed with making people feel the pain she believes they caused her. Then she targets Johnny again. She goes to his home with a plan, threatens him with everything she has learned through social media, and gives him an ultimatum. Drop the charges, or she will ruin his life. She even tells him that, if necessary, she will burn his house down with him inside it. Johnny is terrified. He eventually drops the charges, but Detective Collins still isn't convinced, and Sylvia's mother becomes increasingly afraid that Ryan may eventually kill someone. Then Ryan disappears again. Sylvia has no idea where she is, until Ryan makes her next move and goes to Sterling's home. She tells him exactly how she feels. She blames him for abandoning her before she was even born. She blames him for allowing Sylvia to make the decision alone. And she blames both of them for creating a life she never asked for. Then she reveals the deepest part of her pain. She doesn't simply hate them. She hates being trapped inside a life and body that don't feel right to her. She has spent her entire existence feeling as though she doesn't belong, and now she wants to make someone else feel something. Anything. Sterling realizes Ryan intends to kill him. She restrains him. She threatens him. He tries to reason with her. Sylvia loves her. Her grandmother loves her. And he wants the chance to be there too. But Ryan refuses to listen. Sterling manages to call for help, and Sylvia arrives to find him captive. Ryan is prepared to go through with the murder. Sylvia desperately tries to reach her, telling Ryan she isn't alone, that she can still get help, and that she wants to be her mother. Not the perfect mother, just her mother. Ryan refuses, saying killing Sterling will finally make her feel something. Then everything changes. Sterling survives. Ryan is stopped, but the damage is already done. Sylvia realizes this is no longer something she can handle alone. Her daughter needs serious help. In the end, Sylvia understands the consequence of the choice she made years earlier. She wanted everything: a career, a family, a child, and believed she could control exactly how and when that family would come. But Ryan became a painful reminder that some decisions cannot simply be reversed. Having everything doesn't mean everything will be perfect. Ryan grew up intelligent, mature, and emotionally isolated, searching for a connection. And every time she failed to find one, she became more dangerous. Motherhood isn't about creating the life you imagined. It's about accepting the life that actually exists and doing everything possible to help that child survive it. And Ryan's story leaves one haunting question behind. If you could go back and change the decision that created your life, would you? Because sometimes, the person who feels the most disconnected from everyone else may be the person desperately searching for someone who finally understands them.